Mile High City, game number 2 of the NBA Finals is coming up. Bring it in. Bring it in, Nuggets Nation, because the Denver Nuggets are up a game in the NBA Finals. Took care of business here at home in Game 1. Katie Winge and Scott Hastings setting the table for this Game 2. Scotty, what'd you like about Game 1?
The hot dogs at halftime were fabulous, and I loved how they started. And you and I talked about before the game, everybody, we're worried about the time off, and is it going to be rust or rest? Well, we learned it was rest. I thought they came out exactly how they came out tonight. And let's repeat this, Kate. Just like every round they played, winning the first game at home. That's just the first half. Now you take care of business here in the second half, which is Game 2. You win that, and you put a lot of pressure on Miami.
And you have to expect there will be plenty of adjustments from the Miami Heat based on what they found in Game 1, particularly in that fourth quarter. Nuggets fans, if you have any questions for me and Scotty during this YouTube Live presented by UC Health, put them in the comments. We will answer as many as we can throughout the duration of the program. Let's get into some of those adjustments that you think Miami might be making coming into this game tonight.
I think that's a great question. I was doing an interview last night, and I said this. Miami start off front, which if you watch our program, we said they're probably going to start off front. They may do it again. Here's what I thought Miami made a mistake at. See if this answers your question. They weren't who they are. And who they are is an attacking, getting to the basket, then kicking out, trying to finish, get to the free throw line, and then a little bit like the fourth quarter defensively. But let's be honest, Denver kind of shut it down. But they were gimmicking themselves up. They were fronting Nikola Jokic with Bam. Once you do this, and think about this. So you're fronting me right here, and then all of a sudden, ball goes swing, swing, swing. Mm-hmm. Nikola's just going to freeze you there. Now one of the former Defensive Player of the Year, always in the top 3 Defensive Player of the Year voting, he ain't at the rim. And that's Bam's strength, is at the rim. So I thought they gimmicked themselves up a little bit. If I'm Spoelstra, you got to do what you do, what brung you here, and try to do it the best. You know they're going to shoot better. So will Michael Porter.
I agree with that.
Thank you. Don't keep saying, oh, we shot terrible. Well, our best shooter was 2 for 11 from the three-point line. So I thought they gimmicked themselves up a little bit. And if I were Miami, I wouldn't do that. I'd play what got us here.
Nikola Jokic finished with 14 assists. He only took 3 shots, made all 3 of them in the first half. Do you anticipate them trying to make him more of a scorer, to add on to your detail of them fronting him, giving him different looks?
Yeah, maybe that might be the result. Because think about this. Denver was up 21 points after the 3 quarters, and Nikola had 5 shots. They were up 21 points. Nikola had 5 shot attempts, and he was phenomenal. And then all of a sudden they kind of, they 11-0 run to start the fourth quarter. All of a sudden it's down to 10-9, whatever it was. They actually smartly, and I wish they would have done it to start the quarter, took Nikola out, gave him a couple minutes rest. That's still 7 foot. That's still 285 pounds of flesh. Got arrested. And then he came back in. He went, okay, sorry. Boop, 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 boop. And all of a sudden the game's over. So, listen, I think they're going to gimmick it up. I think Nikola's going to be Nikola. We said that Thursday. We're going to say it Sunday. We'll say it next Wednesday. We'll say it next Saturday. Nikola's seen everything.
Yep.
So the matter of what he does, is he making shots? Well, if you give him 20 shots, he's making shots. We've seen him go 17 or 20. There's 34 right there, if none of them are threes, and he doesn't get to the free throw line. So they got to beat them and hope other people aren't making shots, is what I think.
One of the things about Nikola Jokic that's wonderful is that he's going to play the game the right way. He's going to read the defense and make adjustments as the other team is trying to adjust to him. I do want to talk about the defense, particularly in the first 3 quarters, because the most points that the Heat scored was 22 in the second quarter, 20, 22, and 21. What was working on the defensive end for Denver?
Well, they missed. I think a lot. I think if you go back and look, and we talked about that in some games for Denver, you got to make your open shots. If you're not going to make your open shots, you're in trouble. And that block right there also, I think, changed the game a little bit in the sense that Denver shut them down in the paint early. And once they got shut down in the paint early, I felt as the game went, they stopped going to the paint. Mm-hmm. And again, changed a little bit who they are and set out and shot threes. And now you got a team that's just coming right off of a 7-game win, an emotional win. You couldn't do it last year. You do it this year. You're in the finals. And I thought they were mentally and emotionally a little tired. Denver stuck it right to them. They missed a lot of open shots. I agree with all the pundits on that. But Denver forced them to the outside because they closed down the inside early.
That was something that Eric Spoelstra talked about yesterday as well. They need a more balanced attack. They need a better symbiosis of, I know, that's what he said. He said, not me. I took his words. I took his words.
Come on, dog.
Inside and out. He felt the heat settled for the outside shots, especially when they weren't making them. They just kept trying to shoot them. I don't anticipate those guys to shoot the way they did in that game one. They're going to keep looking for those open looks. But Jimmy Butler did say he wants to be more aggressive. Are you still not over it?
I'm still not over symbiosis. How do you say it? Symbiosis?
Symbiosis.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That was cool. And I watched Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So I know a little bit what symbiotic is. So I can go.
We've got some people watching in Serbia. Hello. What time is it there? I don't even know. I'll have to look it up.
Ask
Middle of the
Marlo.
night?
Is Marlo over there? Yeah, we'll wait until Marlo gets over.
Find out. Let us know what time it is in Serbia right now. And then someone wants to know when your wrestling matches between you and Charles Barkley. Is there one on the docket? I don't know this backstory.
No, let me just. Well, they said something, and I'm willing to do anything for a lot of money. I'll just say that. That's first. But I'll just say this: the grass. I don't even know if you know this. Grass talks a lot of trash to a lawnmower until cutting day.
That's good too. Symbiosis.
I'm bringing a big word to Miami Thursday. I just want you to know.
Okay, I love that. Jamal Murray and the way that he came out of the gate. Aaron Gordon was credited with setting the tone. A lot of really good individual performances from this Nugget team at different times in that game one. Who impressed you the most? Exceeded your expectations?
Yeah, Jamal was special. And I talked to a buddy of mine today. I said, listen, if Jamal is special again, and Joker does Joker, they're going to be tough to beat anyway. But I thought there was, and not necessarily numbers. I thought KCP was phenomenal, and then the brilliance of Denver, Malone, and Nikola Jokic was they were so worried about Joker, they started putting little bitty people. What's the ones? Short people got no business. They ain't got no business guarding Aaron Gordon in the paint. And because they attacked that, I think that threw a big old wrenches of monkeys in the plans of Miami, and they had to change because now Jimmy Butler has to slide over to Aaron Gordon, and Jamal ain't got nobody going to stop him. And instead, I guarantee the plan was Butler on Murray, let's slow him down, Bam on Joker, let's see if we can slow him down, see what happens to everybody else. And Denver says, you're going to have Vincent guarding Aaron Gordon?
Yeah.
245 pounds of man beautiful. Yeah, you can't guard that. And they just went right at him.
That's something that Denver has been exceptional at, especially obviously offensively, but exploiting the mismatches, finding them. Whoever it is that has it, they're going to go to that guy. Do you think that Aaron Gordon will still have those mismatches in this game too?
They'll look for it and they'll decide. And if they start Butler on Aaron Gordon, then watch a lot more pick and rolls with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, because that means Vincent or Strus or any of their other guys are now going to have to try to get over that screen and guard him. Let's see if they're able to. Butler understands that he's been around this league for a while. So I don't know. Like I said, I'll think they'll go back to standard how they play defense to start this game, but try to do it more physical, try to get up into people, and be a lot more aggressive than they were to start the game the other night.
Let's talk about Jimmy Butler and his aggressiveness, because only 13 points from Butler in that game one, but he's not a guy that is just going to try and score a whole bunch of points. He's going to, kind of similar to Joker, play the right way. If he's finding his teammates and is a passer that night, that's what he's going to do. Do you think he's going to look for his shot more?
He's got to, I think, because you go back to that Boston series, when he was aggressive and look at the score, they crushed Boston. They didn't have an answer for Jimmy Butler. I think Denver can throw more defensive guys at him. KCP can be on him. Bruce Brown can be on him. Christian Brown can be on him. Aaron Gordon can be on him. They can throw more bodies at him to try to slow him down or affect him. But I think in my opinion, they're a better team when he's an aggressive scorer. I hope he's not an aggressive scorer tonight. I'm okay. Let's win this thing by 15, 20, going out to Miami and get game 3.
Bam Adebayo was very aggressive in that game 1. Is that a game plan that you're okay with? He took 25 shots, the most in his career, and finished with 26 points.
Well, what's the big word in the NBA now besides the one you brought to the table? It's efficiency.
Yeah.
26 points on 25 shots ain't efficient. And I thought they said, okay, we'll live with that. We'll close it out. They ain't got no 3 kickouts. Joker played a little center field to help the thing, or he stepped out to help the roll. Bam only got 1 or 2 all the way to the basket. He made a bunch of little 8-foot floaters. Listen, if he gets 26 tonight on 25 shots, Denver's going to win this game. I don't think you can win the game. Now, he gets 52 on 26 shots, you might be in trouble.
And that's something he talked about yesterday as well, or right before the Heat practiced, rather. He said, all the shots that I got were in my wheelhouse. I didn't knock them down, but what the Nuggets did a really great job of is making him shoot kind of in that mid-range game, that in-between space. And
soft touch range.
Yes, did not shoot a very high percentage from that area.
Let me ask you this. Did you not find when you played, you go out and you're going to play horse, you can find that little tough, little mid-range, soft range area I call finesse range.
I lived in that range.
Yeah, and you won horse games all the time because no one wanted that little 5-foot baseline shot. Yep. And that's great when you can make it, but now you got that shot all the time and people are flying at you. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm happy for him. Hey, tell his grandkids I scored 26 points in an NBA final game. Took 25 shots.
Yep.
That's not efficient.
All right, Coach Malone is speaking to the media right now, so let's go ahead and listen in to that press conference.
Well, we've talked about, knowing he's going to come back at some point in this series. Hasn't played since game 1 of that Milwaukee series. He's been out for a while, and we know what kind of talent he is. His ability to play off the bounce, create for himself, create for his teammates, and obviously shoot the 3 ball. So if and when he becomes available, our guys will be ready from a personnel standpoint and a game plan standpoint. But we understand this is game 2. He is out, and we're going to see a much different Miami Heat team than we did on Thursday night.
Steve, second row on the right.
Steve Ashburn, NBA.com. There's a lot of attention on Miami and likely attempt to get to the foul line more often. That means that your guys end up with more fouls. Is it replicable that you're able to defend without fouling as well as in game 1?
Well, if we give them as many open threes, maybe. I mean, that's the thing no one's talking about. They didn't get to the foul line a lot, and we gave them a ton of open looks from 3. But yeah, I'm not banking on Miami Heat getting 2 free throw attempts tonight. We knew that without hearing anything they said, but then you listen to their comments yesterday, and whether it's Jimmy or anybody else in their roster, they know that they're going to have to play more aggressive, attacking the basket, putting pressure on the rim, and that's where your attention to detail and your KYP discipline come into play. You had to stay down on shot fakes. You got to show your hands and try to limit that, because when they get to the foul line, that's when they control the tempo, can implement their defensive game plan.
Next row back on the right.
Michael Shaney on with Forbes Sports. I'm just curious, how proud are you of the defensive progression of this core group since you've been here?
Yeah, 8 years is a long time, and you look at the steady improvements on that end of the floor. And this year, I think with about maybe 3 weeks ago in the season, we were like right on the edge of top 10. And then we did not finish the regular season off very well, and we dropped down to 15. But I knew full well that when we were locked in, this team could step up and defend at a high level. I believe we finished 3rd in the regular season in clutch defensive rating. So when the game was on the line, they proved night and night that they could go out there and get timely stops in close games. So very proud of the buy-in, the commitment. When you add guys like KCP, a guy like Bruce Brown, and then guys like Michael, Nikola, and Jamal, just continuing to evolve and improve on that end. And then you got a guy like Aaron Gordon as well. So the guys understood for us to win a championship this year, we'd have to make improvements on defense. And I think in these playoffs, we've done that.
Mike standing on the right.
So obviously Coach Malone reflecting on the Nuggets defense right there, which was tremendous through 3 quarters in that game 1. You need to have a repeat effort. But what was the fact that the Heat only went to the free throw line twice? What was working on that side of the ball? How do they replicate that?
Two giant blocks by Michael, and he got beat on both those plays. And we had talked about it somewhere in the other rounds. Whereas 3 years ago, he'd have stopped, just let the guy get the rim. He's at least chasing, and with that length, blocked 2 shots. I thought he got 3, but blocked a couple shots. I think that have bothered him. I thought they did a good job of walling. You always hear the coach in the timeout huddle, make a wall, build a wall, and I thought they showed a good wall as far as drive. And I really do. I think because of that first quarter, they got discouraged a little bit, and maybe going into the first half. I thought they got discouraged trying to get into the paint. So you got to do the same thing. Be even a little better off drives, and if you're a little better off drives, I'm trying to find a non-biased way how the results aren't any different than what we saw on Thursday night. Unless Denver comes out and doesn't give a flip, they think this series is over. And to do that in the finals is a bad thing. But if they come out the way they did the other night with the intensity to play defense the way they did early, I really don't. And I know everybody says, "Oh, Miami will shoot the ball better." I think they will.
Yeah.
But I think KCP will shoot it better. I think Michael Porter Jr. will shoot it better. Murray missed 2 or 3 wide open. He could have even been better. So I'm trying to find a way to say, Miami can win this thing.
Denver would beat themselves. That's really the only way, because the other thing that Miami did really well coming into this series that last night the Nuggets had a great handle on was taking care of the basketball. Only 10 turnovers, and they only gave up 9 points off of those turnovers. Yeah. Nuggets were really smart with their decision making, but you have to imagine that Miami is going to come out and try and be much more disruptive defensively.
Well, they've got to, and you got to handle your cues. And our first key that we did last game was the ball's precious. Got to take care of the basketball. Job done. If Denver's turnovers are low, all the rest of these games, they're going to win a whole lot of them. Because you think about the games they kind of, I don't say didn't show up, but didn't play well throughout the season, those turnover numbers were giant. So the turnovers numbers are down. Again, I find a hard way to think that how they're going to win this game, Miami, if Denver doesn't, shoot themselves in the foot.
Mm-hmm. Game 2 is here at Ball Arena. Games 3 and 4, the Nuggets will head to Miami, but you can still be here at Ball Arena taking in these games with the rest of Nuggets Nation. We will have watch parties June 7th, June 9th, and the 15th. You can get tickets at nuggets.com. They've got Rocky there, the drum line there, dancers there, contests, parking is free, concessions are available, and tickets are only $20. So they all benefit Kroenke Sports Charities. This place is going to be packed full of Nuggets fans, super fun experience. I did it when the Avs were in the Stanley Cup final, and it was an absolute blast. So if you want to be a part of the games on the road when the Nuggets are in Miami, you want to be here at Ball Arena taking it all in.
Absolutely.
Got hot dogs.
Fun. Tuesday. You know what I had last night to eat?
What?
Basically a bowl of hot dogs.
Oh.
Cut up real little, fried they're cut up real little, and then put them on a little barbecue sauce on top. Bowl of meat.
I don't know if I've ever met someone that loves hot dogs as much as you do.
These were actually sausages.
Sausages.
Kind of a sriracha sausage. So they gave you a little at the end of the day. Yeah, but it's awesome.
So I found out that it is around midnight in Serbia right now.
Oh, cool.
So good evening to those that are watching in Serbia. And then John asked a little bit ago, is Jokic the best passer in the NBA?
Right now, currently, probably. Yeah. I mean, I think you got some other guys that are really good and can really do the job. Believe it or not, because he has the touch and the ball handling skills that he has, and that's why I would encourage every kid, whether you're going to be, when you grow up 5'10" or 6'10", to work on ball handling skills, because now if you can handle the rock at his size, now you can look over defenders. Because think about this, you're guarding me, we're similar to the same size, but then somebody comes over double team, it's usually some 6'3", 6'4" dude. That's not effectual.
Yep.
Now if I were 5'10", and I got two, 6'2" guys on me, now all of a sudden I'm in trouble. So the biggest key of why he's such a great passer, he knows the game, he knows where people are, and he has the hands to execute the passes.
All right, as we say goodbye, what is your key for the Nuggets to get a win tonight?
Still got to take care of the basketball, and you got to remember, like I dropped the mic, you're the storm. So just kind of when we brush, it's about you. Be that storm, make them have to make adjustments, and I think Denver's going to be fine.
All right, Nuggets Nation, Game 2 is coming up in just a little bit. You can turn on your TVs for our pregame show on Altitude TV. It's coming up shortly. Nuggets courtside will start at 5 p.m., full hour-long pregame show. And then after the game, we've got your post-game coverage. The locker room report will be on Altitude. We hope you join us then. It's coming up. Game 2. Go Nuggets.